Alright guys, well, welcome aboard. We're going to continue our GA flying, heading westward. Last we left off, it was Fort Wayne International Airport in Indiana, and we're going to be going to Illinois this time, and we're going to be going to Champaign, Urbana, University of Illinois Willard Airport in Illinois, obviously. So let's jump in the plane here, get fired up. Unfortunately, it looks like summertime out here, but we do have real world weather, and there's some weather to contend with here. Not a whole lot, just some ceilings right around like 5,500, some scattered stuff here in the Fort Wayne area. But it should be pretty straightforward flight. Let's go ahead and get fired up here. We'll get our fuel on here, and I'm going to turn down the outside noise here. Get our fuel on. We'll leave our master volume up and jump over here. We already got our position lights on. It's a little dark here in the cockpit, so I'm going to turn that up a little bit, turn those lights up. Let's get our fuel pumps on. Engine master's on. Left started up, right started up. And again, let's turn down that master volume a little bit here. And get our avionics master on. We'll let that get fired up. We'll turn our taxi light on here. Double check our alternators are on. And let's check our altimeter setting 3021 real world. So let's go ahead and set that. Here we go, 3021. Okay, and I want to go CDI here, and I'm going to change our heading to, where's our heading? There it is. 255. So let's go down. Whatever. Just go this way. Alright, perfect. 255, that's our initial heading out of Fort Wayne and then over to Illinois. And I'm going to turn this volume down just a little bit more. There we go. And I think we're ready to go. So I don't even know. We're at like the GA ramp. I don't know what the winds are. Let's go ahead and pick up the winds here. We'll check the ATIS. It looks like real world, it's 160 at 13, but a lot of times it's different as to what's getting injected, but it's the same this time. I stand corrected, 160 at 13 is what's getting injected into the sim here. So, let's take a look outside, see what we got for runways here. We'll double check a windsock too if we can. Let's see what we see here. Alright, yeah, it looks like we're going to be taking off this runway right here, which is all the way down here. Just taking a look for number 140. Okay. And we'll take a look at our taxi route here. So we are on the GA ramp right here. What we'll do is we'll taxi right across here, come down this way, and depart someplace over there. Alright, so we're going to be going off in that direction, right there. Parking brake off. Let's bring the throttle up here a bit. Head on out that direction. I guess I could zoom this in, huh? Let's see. There we go. And there we are, right in the center there. It's kind of hard to see us there. I'm going to go all the way to the end right here. We're going to cross the taxi, or cross the runway here, so I'm going to put my strobes on. There is some static airplanes around here. I think I saw one taxiing earlier. Oop, as the weather updates. That wind is definitely wanting to move our nose around here. over to the right. Nobody on the runway there. Alright, we'll leave our strobes on for now. Let's get on this taxiway here. Head down for departure. No ortho 4XP here, so I think we're going to be actually above the clouds because I'm planning to go up to 6,500. And most of the weather, the cloud layers are at, like I said, about 4,500 up to 5,500. And you can see our winds right here, at least I think. I think we're going exactly the same speed, and that's how we're not getting anything. I don't know. At least the direction is correct. And you can see our general route of flight here is going to be for 255 right there. So we're going to depart in the opposite direction that we're taxiing now. We'll make a right turn to 255. And once we get in the air, we'll tune in a VOR. I believe there's one over in Champaign. And as always, never fails. Somebody tries to call me right when I start recording. And looks like we got plenty of runway here, so we're not going to go all the way to the end. Just go down here at this intersection here. We'll stop, do a final pre-takeoff check here. Alright, come on, bouncy gear. Alright, let's go landing light on. Set our trim tab for takeoff here. Flaps set for takeoff. And we'll set our view up here. Alright, I think we're ready to go. Get out of here. Like I said, we have real world weather getting injected in, so a little bit of snow shower activity, I think, just along the flight, about halfway through. We'll see what that looks like. Alright, power up and get out of here. Still not getting wind data there on the display. Alright, there's 75. Let's rotate, get off the ground here. Bring the power back a bit. Trim up our rudder. Crossing that runway. Is there an airplane taxiing? Yeah, there it is. It tells you I saw a couple planes taxiing there. Not sure if they take off or what. Alright, let's go ahead and make our right-hand turn. Bring that volume down a little bit more. Flaps up. And let's get our gear up too. Forgot about that. Trim here. And coming up to our heading here, I'm going to go ahead and hit the autopilot right there. Zoom in here a little bit, and we're going to pick up heading hold right there. Now altitude, we're not going up to 27,000, so let's bring that down. I'm actually going to pop this out because it's easier to manipulate here. We're going to be going to 5,000. We're going to start correction 6,500. Alrighty, and we'll hit vertical speed. looking good. I guess we can zoom this out now. Other way. The other zoom. There we go. Disregard the course line out there. It's from the last flight, and now what we can do here is let's go direct. Clear. Yep. Direct. And we're going to be going to K. CMI. I wish we were going to Camarillo. That's in Southern California. But we'll get there eventually. Here we go. Alright, let's enter that. Let's activate it. That way, we can actually switch over our CDI over to that. And we'll click on nav right now, so that'll take us on course here, adjust for the winds here. Looks like we got a pretty strong crosswind. Airspeed's looking good. We're climbing out. Got another 2,500 to go. Fuel pumps can come off. Let's take a look at these cloud decks here. Looking good. Alright, landing light off, taxi light off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my little overlay here. I do have the I do have it inputted in. Excuse me. And I just want to see if it's actually bringing up the destination and so forth. Let's see, progress bar widget, background. There we go. Take a look here. Let's see. Yep. Okay. So westbound. That's our course, pretty much. Sometimes it doesn't have some of the smaller airports, but I guess these are big enough, so it is actually calculating our estimated time en route here. Currently showing 1 hour and 18 minutes, but once we speed up, that'll get lower. Alright, I'm going to turn down the engine noise here a little bit more. Put it all the way down and up 1. Alright, airspeed's still looking good. Now, let's go ahead and bring up some music here. Adjust the volume there also. Might just stay underneath the clouds after all here. Where are we at? 6,500, yep. And airspeed's picking up. I don't think I forgot anything. So let me go ahead and bring up the chart and show you the route of flight. It's pretty much a direct flight there. Only 150 some odd miles the whole way, the whole route. Here we go. Bring that up. All right, there we go. So there we are, pretty much going on 255. And let's take a look at the weather here along the route here. So this one has got overcast 4,600. Overcast 3,000. So we should start seeing that. You can see over here we've got broken 4,400. And Fort Wayne, where we just departed from, and scattered 5,500. So we might get in and out of some of these clouds along the route here. Here's Lafayette has got overcast at, well, correction, broken 3,400. And then overcast 3,400, and Champaign, Urbana currently showing broken ceiling at 3,000. So we'll see how it goes as we progress in the flight.
Unable to find view ID 14.
Disregard that, hit the wrong key. This is actually looking somewhat better than forecasted, or at least observed. Let's take a look at our weather injector here. Let's see if, make sure, yep, it's getting injected. You can tell because it's using the custom METAR file there. Turn the sound down here, we'll do a flyby. We'll see if we get into any of this weather coming up. Yeah, I'm picking up a headwind there and crosswind here again, unfortunately. I was going to do this flight a little bit earlier over the weekend, but since unfortunately there's having that big snowstorm kind of pushing through this whole area, I thought I'd hold off just so we're not socked in completely. So we got a few clouds to contend with here along the route. Let's put it on autopilot and keep on cruising along here. And my cue for taking a break here. Let's see what do I got for views here. Forgot what I said. I'll leave you with the co-pilot view here. Engine instruments looking good, just making sure we're not overpowering anything. The weather update there. Alright, we'll keep cruising along here, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna go fill up my coffee. Alright guys, back in the cockpit there. Sorry it took a little bit longer than I thought, because the dog had to go out. Let's see what we got here. Nothing popped up. Okay. Well, so far we're below the clouds, so that's a good thing. Ooh, look at that icing. We got some icing going on here. Let's put on the icing. We'll go to normal. And now, see that icing? You'll see it go away here in a second. I'm going to switch over and it'll go off. Here, let's do this. Let's go on high. You'll see that pop out. There it goes. Pop. No more icing. Alright, so since we got some icing conditions here, go over and leave it on normal. Put a little engine light. Nice. Oh, that's the lighting. Alright, we'll leave it on normal here. Because we do have boots on the prop also. And I'm assuming that got rid of the ice on the props too. If you remember the first flight, I think we ran into some icing conditions and didn't put on the anti-icing in time and ended up having to descend. Just to keep the engines going. That was kind of fun. Alright, but we got our icing on right now on normal, and it looked like some light rime. It looked like frost. Keep an eye on our airspeed. It's looking like it's pretty good for 90% at 6,500 feet. Take a little bit closer look here. You can pretty much straight shot. And we have got ground speed 153. Right, like our indicated here. Fuel looks good. Fuel temp is at the bottom of the green arc. Coolant looks good, pressure looks good, oil temp looks good. Put our pitot heat on here too. There we go, look at that. I was wondering why that was showing so low. That's better, 160. So our pitot was iced up also. As soon as we put the pitot heat on, away it went. So we got 108 miles to go here. Go figure. That's what happens when you're a Southern California pilot flying in the I guess Midwest, or the middle section of the country at least. And, you know, I think this is the first time I'm flying, or recording at least, with 11.30. So you can see there's some effects here. Let's jump outside and take a look at this. Turn that down a bit. So you can see some of the particle effects coming off of the engine here. We're not over speeding. See if that's sort of engine exhaust coming off, or maybe a little bit of a condensation there. Kind of weirded out here. You can see, depending on how you're looking at it. interesting how that's working. I guess that's the actual airplanes. I've heard a couple of the other guys that were streaming were talking about how I guess the airplanes sometimes need an update for 11.30 for the particle effects. And as far as I know, this one is up to date. But since 11.30 only went public, I guess like a week ago or so, it may take a little bit of time if the developers work on that. Well, at least you can see it in here. I did fly the FlyJSim 737-200 in 11.3, and that definitely has. It did need an update, actually. Specifically, there was a fix that the FlyJSim put out for that airplane for 11.30, and if you watch some of my other videos, I think there was one I posted where just recently, where the stick, when you put on the altitude hold, the yoke would kind of oscillate. The airplane would oscillate up and down. So that was a fix that they put out for the plane for 11.3. So if you've got that problem, that's what it is. Just go to you got to have the skunkworks updater, and you download the patch, install that. That fixes that FlyJSim 737 issue. Alright, 90, is that 99? Yep, 99 miles to go here. Looking hazy down here in wherever the heck we are. Not sure if we're in Indiana or Illinois yet. Let's take a look at the map here on the AviTab. And I don't have any sectional charts or anything like that, so we're just going to go with the default here. Lafayette, I'm assuming that's... I actually don't know. Peru, Como, Lafayette, I don't know what states those are in. Fort Wayne, Indiana there. Not really seeing the state line. Let's see. We zoom out a little bit. Okay, Indiana, I'm guessing that's the state line right there. And we're going to Champaign right there. Oh, there's Decatur, Springfield, and there's Champaign. There's Manchester. That's St. Louis. There we go. Here we go. Urbana. So, little trivia here. So Champaign, I've actually in real life flown a couple times in I believe it was an Archer. Might have been in Warrior, I'm not sure at the time. It was quite a long time ago. But Rantoul, right here, just off to the north. Zoom in on that. Used to be an Air Force base. And there you can see it right there. Let's zoom in here. There it is. So that used to be Chinook Air Force Base. And when I was active duty in the Air Force, I did my tech school here for weather observer. So I did, forgot how long it was. It was like 7 months, 6 months, something like that. I spent quite a bit of time here in the winter time. Let's hear what's going on there. And so just for the heck of it, I went over to Champaign, Urbana here, to the airport, and rented a plane. Like I said, I believe it was an Archer, and did a couple of flights out here, just sightseeing around the area. But I think I've mentioned it before, where I learned to fly in Southern California, where there's mountains and desert and ocean and everything else to you can look out the window and know exactly which direction you're going in. You know, if the ocean is on your right and the mountains on your left, you're heading south, at least in the San Diego area, and vice versa. But joined the Air Force, went over here to tech school in Rantoul, took off from the plane here, and just going to do a little roundabout sightseeing with a couple of the guys I was going to school with there. And as soon as I took off, I was like, everything looks exactly the same. Everything looks exactly like that. Big, flat, nothing. And this is a little bit, quite a few years ago, a couple decades ago, as a matter of fact, come to think of it. So we didn't have GPS or anything like that, just had VORs. And quickly pulled out my sectional chart and started to find a VOR to tune in, just to get my bearing there. And I believe it was the Decatur VOR, if I recall. Yeah. Where's Decatur? Champaign, and there's a Decatur VOR here somewhere. Where's Decatur? Rantoul, maybe it was Danville, I can't remember. But tune that in just to figure out which direction I was going, because every direction looked exactly the same. And it was also, coming from Southern California, it was also interesting that, here's Decatur, down this way. It was interesting that it was kind of my first time flying in a cold weather. I was there through wintertime, kind of like this. Matter of fact, I think I finished tech school just before Christmas. So it was cold as hell. And being from Southern California, it was my first introduction into general aviation flying in cold weather. And I had a few problems with the plane. It was kind of interesting. I guess the front gear on the Archer Warrior, is just a piston. And the piston seal actually broke on touchdown at one of my flights. Like, the seal was just so frozen and whatnot, and the plane hadn't been warmed up in a hangar. And as soon as I touched down, the front gear just not collapsed, but the piston collapsed, and so all of a sudden you're like 3-4 inches lower than you should be on the front gear, and riding directly, you felt every single bump in the runway, every single pile of snow you rolled over. So that was interesting. And then actually, same airplane was taking off from Champaign at one point, and something went wrong with the actual radio, and I had some smoke coming into the cockpit, and I was on my takeoff roll. I don't know what the heck it was. I didn't fly that airplane ever again because I had to abort the takeoff. We had just, me and 2 other guys were in the plane. Got onto the runway, powered it up, started rolling down the runway, and all of a sudden you could smell the electrical sort of circuitry burning wire, and smoke started coming out of the dash. That was fun. Quickly pulled the power back and had plenty of runway to stop. I had actually rotated already, and I was probably like 100 feet off the ground, and managed to pull the power back and land on the runway again. And I think, if I recall correctly, it was... Where are we? Here we go. Go to the airport. Let me think. It was this runway. I'm going to show you right here. Whatever this runway is right here. This is the one. Because the FBO was someplace over here, I think. And we taxied around here, took off, got about 100 feet up, and pulled the power back and managed to land on the remainder of the runway here. Alright, so that's my hangar talk for the flight. Looks like we're popping in and out of some of those clouds there. kind of right in the cloud layer. It's a good thing we got our icing going here. Getting a little bit of chop here too. Keep an eye on our airspeed. Make sure it doesn't ice up. Pitot heat is on. And keep an eye out on the wings here. Make sure we're not getting any more icing. And we never did turn on our transponder here, so let's go ahead and do that. VFR transponder on altitude, and let's see, what else do I want to go here? Inserts PDF. It's defaults. Maybe that sets the default. Let's try this and then hit default. Maybe that saves it. I hate having to do that every time. Alrighty, now bouncing in and out here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the sectional chart and see what we can tune in over here. Now we got Champaign, Urbana, RCO. Where's the VORTAC? Here we go. 110.0. So let's tune that in just for the heck of it. Come on, catch up, computer. Alright, we'll go, I'm going to pop that out. 110.0. Flip that over. There we go. Got an indicator there. And you can see it's kind of weird. We got a crosswind from this direction, but we're seeming to be crabbing in that direction. I think we'd be kind of crabbing into the opposite direction. Crabbing into the wind. Since this is pointing right at the VOR in the airport. I wonder if we go... Are we on heading? No, we're not on heading. Hold. Oh no, that's correct. Crabbing into the wind. Alright. Okay. I'm stupid. So yeah, we are crabbing into the wind. Not a whole lot to see. I wonder if we can pull this section out. Nope. Take a look around out here, see what we see. We're just in and out of the clouds right here, just skimming some of this thin stuff. Co-pilot's view here. Let's go up a little bit. We can actually look down and see some of the clouds. Got a tall co-pilot. Alright, so just as we bounce along here, the co-pilot, meaning my dog, is all settled here. Now I'm going to go get my coffee, so I'll be right back. Enjoy the bouncy flight here. Or do we want to go outside? Let's go outside. It's a little noisier out there, but come back a little ways. There we go. You guys something to look at here. I'm going to adjust my sound here. Exterior, let's bring that down. There we go. Alright, be right back. Alright, got my fresh cup of coffee here. And we got about 56 miles to go here. As we zip through some of these clouds. Or we should climb up or down below it. Might get a better headwind if we go down below it. So let's pop that out. Let's go down to 4,500 at vertical speed, nose down. Go down at about 1,000 foot per minute here. Might still be bumpy, but at least it'll clear up the view here, and we'll get out of some of that rime icing we're seeing earlier. Yeah, I like to play around with my views here. When you're ever watching somebody, if you're watching my videos or anybody else's, and you're watching them fly, and you're also flying, and you also fly flight sims, don't you ever feel like, oh, you want to change the view that they're looking at? I wish there was a way that you could control the views of somebody you're watching as they're streaming. That'd be kind of funny. Alright, well, it looks like we're below that little cloud deck. That's our altitude here. Just coming up to, or coming down to 4,500. We're going to be in the chop, but at least we can see the ground a little bit more. We are VFR. How the color changes here. Got that overcast deck there. Up a nice speed there. Got up to 180. And I know we're in the yellow arc, but that's well, smooth air is what you want to be in when you're in the yellow arc there. But this really isn't a lot of turbulence. This is pretty smooth. Just a little bit of light chop here. Gives us a little more scenery at least to look at down here. You know, it's getting darker and darker. There we go. As the clouds update. So we are just coming up to, I believe that's, I'm not sure what airport this is. Right over here. Let's take a look at that. DNB is I'm looking on my my chart. No, that's Lafayette. It's already past it, so this is going to be, there's a small airport there called it's a private one, and then this looks like it's Vermilion. Yeah, DNB. Here, let me get rid of that. Bring up the sectional for you. There we go. That's DNB right there. So there's get away. There's Champaign, and here's what we're coming up to: Danielville, Vermilion Regional. There's an AWAS here. Let's see if we can pick it up. 119.275. Let's go 119.275.
Vermilion co-weather. Wind 170 at 14, gust 21, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 3,200 overcast, 32,000 overcast, temperature 1, dew point -5. Altimeter 3003.
Alright, we'll use that to set our altimeter. 3003, really? Is that what they said? Let's listen to that again.
Vermilion co-weather. Wind 170 at 14, gust 21, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 3,200 overcast, 32,000 overcast, temperature 1, dew point -5. Altimeter 3003.
Yep, 3003, alright. We're off quite a bit here. There we go. But that put us almost like 150 feet below our intended altitude. Yeah, they said what, 3,000 overcast or something like that. So we'll see how that pans out. Still looks pretty good, and we're almost on top of it here. coming by the VOR here. Doesn't look like 3,000 whatever overcast here. First watch the weather will update now and we'll be in the soup here. We got 37-ish miles to go. Let's go ahead and let's check out the ATIS over at the Champaign. 124.85. Let's tune that in.
University of Illinois Willard Information Juliet. 1800 Zulu weather. Wind 170 at 20, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 2,700 broken, 4,700 overcast, 32,000 overcast, temperature 1, dew point -3. Altimeter 3000. Arriving runways 14 right, 14 left, 18. Departing runways 14 right, 14 left, 18. Advise on...
Alright, so they said 3000. We'll set that, and runway 14 apparently is going to be our landing. So we will be going for runway 14 left. That's the larger runway here. Bring that up for you. Alright, there we go. That's this one right here. 755 for field elevation there, or at least at the end of the runway right there. Alright, 14 left it is. So we're going to be coming in, kind of, we'll just enter right onto a base leg, turn final, come inbound. Stay visual the whole time here. We'll see how that pans out here with this weather. Got 32 miles to go. No icing on the wings. Alright, I'm going to play with the weather. Here we go. Let's take a look at our Ultra Weather XP settings here. So I do have auto mist on. Sometimes what happens if I turn this on or off, I lose the weather injector. It'll just go to like default weather, and then I have to re-inject it again here. So I'm gonna see if I can't clear up the mist here a little bit, at least. You see? That's with it on. You see it kind of changes around as soon as I let go. If I turn it off, there we go. Cool. Alright, we didn't lose the weather injection, but I'm going to turn down the mist all the way. So it'll give us a little bit better visibility here out the window. The observation did say it was unrestricted or 10 miles or something, so. Plus it's a little bit more interesting to look at something on a VFR flight, of course. Alright, so generally, let's think about our approach here. So we're going to go off to the, going to turn off this way. We should actually go right for the VOR instead. So we'll do that. Let's get rid of that. Let's go here. Let's go to CDI here. This is going to turn us. We're going to get right onto the VOR here. I'm going to go to heading. Where is it? Course. Here we go. Am I switching my course? No, I'm switching my... There we go. Alright, let's bring that in. There we go. So we'll go right to the VOR instead, and get that off the screen. Make sure we got the right VOR. Right? Yeah. Yes, CMI right there, nav1. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go right for this VOR, enter a base leg, just like this guy is right there. He looks like he's climbing. Anyway, so we'll kind of head right for the VOR here, make a turn, come inbound to runway 14. A little off here, but alright, that's the plan. I'm sticking to it. And let's see now, approach altitude here. Since field elevation is what, 755, let's call it 800. We'll add 1,200 feet to that, so 2,000 feet. And so we want to get down to 2,000 feet as we're coming up to the airport, and then continue our descent down to the runway. I'm sure this place is pretty much covered in snow. Actually, you know what? I want to take a look to see where Rantoul is. Let me see if that's still got an active runway. Yeah, it does. Tip. So that's Rantoul right there. I'm gonna do a flyby of Rantoul right here, just for old time's sake here. Let's go to heading hold here. We'll turn that on, and I'm gonna click heading hold here. Where is it? There we go. Heading. All right. Let's fly by Rantoul. And like I said, spent some time in Rantoul when I was in the Air Force. Over at, well, used to be Chinook Air Force Base. So we'll do a little flyby for nostalgia, and then turn southwest and head for Champaign. That'll put us in actually on a good approach too. Just eyeball it here, right about there. We're heading right for that. TIP, what is it called now? It's still called Rantoul. I think the runways on it are no longer active. I was actually one of the last weather observer classes to graduate before they closed down Rantoul or Chinook and gave it over to the state, I guess. And like I said, I don't know what is there now, but at the time, this is a couple decades ago, the city did a couple of different things with it, but they closed down at least one of the runways, I think. And if you cover this all in snow, yeah, that's what I remember. It looked just like this, totally flat, nothing to look at.
Unable to find view ID 14.
Yeah, that's okay. There's nothing to see that way anyway. Just flat. I'll give you one more little story of my time at Chinook. So I had a roommate when I was there, and he was from... Look at that, we got our settled down our turbulence here a little bit. So he was from Tennessee, and I was from San Diego, and we had two different ideas of what a comfortable room temperature was. Like I wanted it 85, and he was totally fine with it being 50. And so in the morning, I remember there was one day where it was just like blizzard. It was like 7 degrees or something. Snow is blowing sideways. He gets up, he goes to the down the hall to go, you know, to the showers or whatever. So I crank the heat up. You know, we have one of those heaters that, underneath the window that you can manually turn it up and down. So I just crank it up and I'm laying in bed all nice and toasty, and the room is like 100 degrees. And he comes in and he's like, son of a bee, you know. So then I go to the bathroom and the showers and stuff. He had gotten ready and left, and you know, got dressed and left the room. But what he did was he turned the heat off and he opened the freaking window wide open, slid it open. There wasn't any screen or anything like that. It was just you know, one of those big windows. He slides open the window. It's literally like 7 degrees in the room when I get back from the shower. And there is, I'm not kidding you, like 1.5 feet of snow in the room underneath the window. Bastard. So he got me back, but that's okay. He's a good guy. I am actually still in touch with him. He went on to become a C-130 navigator. Oh, look at that wing, looks so nice and shiny. And it looks like we're coming up. I see it. I see Chinook dead ahead. Ah, the good old times we had down there. Hanging out at what the hell was it? There was sort of a country western bar right off the base. I can't remember what it was called. I can't remember if it was, I think it was called the Hitching Post. And so the locals would hang out there, and then on the weekend, those of us that could get off base would go over there and play some pool and do some beer drinking. And ended up getting into quite a few disagreements with the locals, as would be typical. That was fun. Hello, former Chinook Air Force Base. Alright, enough nostalgia here. Let's go ahead and let's figure out where we gotta go here. Runway 14. Alright, so we're gonna come up this way here. Let's take a heading of about, oh, what is that? 220. Let's go 220 and start our descent down here. So, using the heading hold here. Our airspeed's dropped off a little bit. I wonder if we're getting some more icing. I don't know. At least they're indicated. I'm gonna go to high on our icing here. And how far out? We're 15 miles out here. Let's go ahead and start our descent down to 2,000 feet. And I'm going to bring the power back a little bit here. Actually, I'm going to bring it up. Yeah, we might have some icing on the engine because I'm power full right here, and I'm only getting 88%. So we might have gotten a little bit of engine icing there on the props. Bring the power back to about 80. Keep an eye on our airspeed here. Goodbye, Chinook. Nice visiting you again. Let's see how we doing here. Turn a little bit more inbound here. Alright, and there it is. Look at that, picking up the airport. Alright, let's go ahead and get landing lights on, taxi lights on. lights keep going off and on. I wonder if that's just the amount of light that there is in the sim here underneath the clouds and whatnot. There we go, popping back in and out. Okay, we're coming up to 2,500 feet, almost at our field elevate, or not our field, our traffic pattern altitude here. All right, and then let's see, heading. Yep, that's not what I wanted to do. You stay there. Course. We're going to go course, final approach course was what, runway 14, I think it was like 143 or something like that. Just going to set this as a reference here. Alright, there's 2,000 feet. Let's do a flyby before we get distracted. Oh, there's some of those little contrails, like I said, little particle effects. In 11.30. Let's see if we can see him coming off of here. Yeah, there you go. Even off the back tail there a little bit. Alright, so it looks like we're going to be coming in this way right here. Go ahead and slow us down. I think 150 is the gear extension here. Got traffic dead ahead right there. It looks like, I think. Not seeing him on there. Alright, let's kill the music for the approach here. We're going to kill the autopilot too here. Autopilot off. Let's turn up some a bit more engine sound. Some of that wind sound here. Alright, gear coming down. We'll see if we can't follow him in. I don't know if that's an airplane or if it's a police car down in the scenery. But he's up ahead of us, and we're going to be landing and coming across this way here. Alright, gear is down. Hold off on the flaps here for a minute. Yeah, there's a road right there, so I'm guessing that's just it's a police car driving down the road. Yep. Yep, we're following him in. All right, we're about 4 miles out of the VOR here. Let's go ahead and get our first notch of flaps in. Make sure we don't balloon up like we just did. It's a little loud. Turn that down just a tad. Alright, so we're on a base leg here. Down at 1,500 feet. Let's take a look at our airport. Yeah, we might actually have a little bit more of a crosswind here. We almost got a direct headwind going this way. Could have taken that other runway. Alright, let's go full flaps. airspeed above 90 there. Well, they said runway 14, but the wind, at least right here, a little bit more of a crosswind here. Just gonna make our way there. Alright, start bringing the power back. Alright, gear down, 3 green flaps is down. And landing lights are on, we're clear to land. Runway 14 left. A little high here, we'll let it drop down. Slow ourselves up here a little bit. Like I said, we got a little bit of a crosswind here. Alright, bring the power back in. We're on the VASI lights there. .11 knot crosswind. This should be another interesting landing. Bring that power back. I'm not going to try to kick it over. Alright, power off. Oop, ballooning up. There we go. Managed to get it into a little bit of a slip there right before touchdown. Touchdown on the upwind wheel. Flaps up here. Take the next taxiway here. We'll park it over here or someplace and do a replay. Yeah, that crosswind is definitely, I can feel it. Let's see, we don't want to take the runway right here. We'll go up to the next taxiway here. Keep our airspeed up a bit. Oh yes, I do remember this runway now. Bringing back all sorts of memories. This little leg of our westward journey. Well, if you don't stick around for the replay, go ahead, hit the thumbs up button. I'll remind you right now, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Follow along as I make my way westward. Take a look at some of the other videos I had from the beginning. We started in Connecticut and made our way so far to Champaign, Illinois here. I'm just going to go into the ramp right here. I don't actually recall where the FBO is. I think it's around the other side. Get our landing light off, strobe off. Let's come over here. Oh, I actually want to go into that hangar since we got a hangar here. You know, the FBO might have been over here, I don't recall. I can tell you it's chilly, and it's even chilly in the sim here. So we are going to park it in the hangar, and nice spot for some grass there. We're going in the hangar anyway. All right, here we go. Stop. Get our parking brake on. Jump out here just for a minute. There we go. And then I can close the door so we can warm up. All right, let's jump into our replay here. Here we go. We'll start from there. Let me get the tunes going. And again, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that flight. Turn that down. Let's let's do a view from the runway. We'll do a couple views here. See that crab, and I tried to put it into a slip here right at touchdown. There's our little balloon. We ballooned up there just a tad and kick it over. There we go, there's that slip. Back it up and we'll do a tower view here. Yeah, we'll do it from here, what the heck. Not bad for the crosswind there. Let's see what else we got for review. Right down the tail. This should show us the slip here real nice. Kick it. There we go. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that flight. Till next time, take care.